Okay, so we're looking at the forming of your dots now. So if you've just starting out, great idea to practice on something else first until you get the hang of how you form the dots. So either work on a piece of MDF, a scrap piece of MDF, or some thick cardboard. Like I said earlier when we were talking about tools, do not use just paper to practice on, because it will suction on to the paper and your dots don't form very well. So I'm going to start with the middle tool just to start with, just to show you, because you can see it better as well. So when you pop your tool into the paint, you only need to go in so that it's like just a touch up the end of the tool, and so it's got that nice dome on the end. And you keep your tool upright and you're doing what we call a kiss. So you're just kissing onto your MDF. So to get the same shape each time, you need to re-dip into the paint. So that'll give you the same shape dot. Got the shakes there today. So good idea is to go and do a whole line. Now see, if I don't re-dip, the dot is quite small, like quite a lot smaller, and it will go down in different size. So that's why it's really important to re-dip each time. Oops, that was a little bit big. Now, I actually notice I'm getting a couple of bubbles, so I'm just going to mix a little bit just to pop some of the bubbles in the paint. So I was getting some odd shapes on the end there, so just sometimes when you've shaken it up, it comes out with bubbles, so you can just go in and get rid of some of them. Sorry, I'm just trying to get that. All right, so that's that tool. So then you could do the same with the smaller size as well. So that's doing exactly the same. So a good idea is to practice, start with the smaller tools and work up to the bigger, so that you get used of how each tool feels and what size dots they make as well. So it's a lot easier to get some nice form dots, obviously, with the smaller tools. So you'd go along and do a few lines of each. You can rule some lines if you need help getting things straight. So as you get up into the bigger tools, you need to work a little bit slower, and really important not to press hard. So if you press down hard, it flattens out the dot and you can get abnormalities in it, and the paint goes all weird and they are bigger. You get odd sizes as well. So that's why it's really important to keep that consistency by re-dipping each time. It's actually quite relaxing when you start doing a whole design. And this is where when you're working on a piece, where the Lazy Susan comes in handy as well, because you can just twirl it around. All right, so as we get to the real big one, then you need to be a lot more careful with this one. So definitely making sure you only just kiss, and I've got a bit of a bubble. So you can use cotton tips. So if you do get a bubble and it misforms your dot, then you can just clean that up. So if you were to press hard or didn't have enough paint, that's when you start getting the weird formed dots. And when you get to the big dots, make sure your well is nice and full. Don't try and do big dots with a half filled well, because it just won't work. All right, so these ones, it's really important that you've got enough paint So you've got that nice, I won't hold up too much, so you have a nice dome on the end of it. So you know your dots, you're doing the right thing when you have a nice dome. It doesn't go quite out to the edge. It sort of sits in the middle. I don't know if you can actually see, like on the last one there. See how it's got those nice little domes? That actually does flatten out as it dries. So go ahead and practice with all your big tools. And then, of course, you've got your smaller ball-ended tools. Now, these ones, you don't have, if you're doing walking the dots, you don't have to dip each time, and you can press quite hard with this. I should have used a different colour. Anyway, so you touch once and then you go around and it makes smaller dots. I might just grab, oh, you'll be able to see that. Then you can redo that on the other side. So this is used a lot, so you can practice doing it straight. You can practice the different size tools as well, and it goes right down to the really little ones as well. So walking the dots you'll use quite a bit in your designs. And as we start the designs, I will be talking more about how to do them. So you can practice around doing that as well. So have a practice, and then we will move on to our first design.